Fast and Furious is a film franchise which was started back in 2001. It was based on illegal street races in the age of 2001, but the film wasn't a big success. After that, a sequel to the film was released. But the main characters like Dominic Toretto, performed by Vin Diesel, refused to join to the film. But the infamous actor Paul Walker, which is Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious franchise, he agreed. With some downfalls and rises, film was a success in 2015 with the film Fast 5. Today we bring you the first part of the entire timeline of the Fast and Furious franchise. If you haven't watched the series yet, don't try to watch the Fast and Furious first 4 films because it will cause you to give up your interest. Instead, we recommend you to start off from the Fast 5 and try out the Fast and Furious 5 to 9. We will alert you if you have spoilers coming, and let's get into it. The Fast and the Furious 1. The Fast and the Furious. Fast and Furious 1 was released in 2001 and it was directed by Rob Cohen and was produced by the Universal Pictures. The film contains the characters named Brian O'Connor, who is a starter to the racing and a family of street racers led by a person called Dominic Toretto, aka Dom. Dom has a sister named Mia and his friend Letty. And with that gang, there was some other supporting characters named Vince, Jesse, and Leon. Brian was an undercover cop which was sent to catch car hijackers. When he was suspecting it was another one, police suspected that was especially Dom. But even then, he was into Mia from the beginning. After he was confirmed, he tried to stop him doing that because the truck drivers had weapons with them. Before they arrive, Mia and Brian, they have started the hijack and mission has already gone south. Vince was the one who has to go to the truck and threaten the truck driver. His arm stuck with the grappling rope and Dom couldn't help him. Then Brian saves him and calls for the police for medical assistance. Then Dom learns the truth and hates Brian.
Yeah, this is Officer Brian O'Connor. I'm off-duty MAPD. I need a life flight rollout right away.
Due to some issues, Jesse was hiding, not to be killed by Dom's rival. At last he comes to Dom while Brian was also there, but his rival Johnny Tran came to shoot Jesse, and he was shot to death. Dom goes after the gang and took down both with the help of Brian. Then Brian and Dom go to this iconic race in the franchise and they make it together. But Dom crashes into a truck come by the side without seeing that. When the police came, Brian gave his car to Dom to escape. In the post-credit scene, he was shown in Baja, Mexico.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free.
Due to the previous film's failure, Vin Diesel didn't agree to take part in the second movie. The second movie was titled as Too Fast, Too Furious. With Paul Walker and new character Roman Pierce, casted by Tyree Gibson, the second film was shot. The story starts with an illegal race with Brian in it. He is now like the new Dom in the area. While evading the police with a new weapon from FBI catches Brian. He was taken to the police to help them to take down a mob boss in Miami named Carton Veron. He agrees and gets Roman to his crusade. They get the job done and steal some money from the mob boss too. Even though it wasn't a success, they didn't stop. The next movie wasn't about Dom or Brian. Paul Walker refused to join the franchise because he was not happy about acting in movies which was continuously fails. This movie happens in Tokyo, but there's not a time stamp in this movie which year this is. And in this film, young boy named Sean races and faced an accident. His mother sent him to his father, which was separated long before when he was at the age 3. After going to Tokyo, Sean meets an American student in the school. He calls himself Twinkie. He brought Sean to the racing area in Tokyo. After being there, he found a classmate there and he was talking to her. But suddenly DK comes in. He tries to get on a fight and he gets it. Sean and DK agree to have a race and see the winner. But Sean had no idea how the races in Tokyo went.
Can he drive?
Can he drive? You know what DK stands for?
Donkey Kong?
Drift King.
Drift.
After the race, Sean, Luz and car owner Han, who gave the car to him, meets him. He wanted him to be with him because he has money but no loyal friends around. Then Han trains Sean how to drift. After many destructive classes, Sean perfected.
There's no wax on, wax off for drifting. Everybody doing it. The first drifters invented drifting out here in the mountains by feeling. So feel it.
Han asks for a race with Sean from DK and his cousin volunteered. Sean beats him and gets the chance to hang out with the friend mentioned above. She is Neela. She was an orphan too. DK's grandmother took her in. Meanwhile, DK's uncle, which is head of mafia called Yakuza, was ashamed of DK's work, and DK was embarrassed by his word. He reveals that Han was stealing from DK. DK goes to Han's place and sees Neela there and pisses off. He points a gun at Han and Twinkie makes a window for them to escape. After Han hitting DK, they drop into a road with Sean, Neela, Han, DK and his cousin. While on the run, Han's vehicle was hit by a van and fell over, and it killed Han for now. You know what they say, if your name isn't Uncle Ben, you can still be alive. The question is for next films. And at the mid-credit scene, Tom appeared again and raced with the new DK.
Nice ride.
I won it from my friend Han a few years ago. You ready, kid?
Fast and Furious 4 is the last film on the list of failure. It was released in 2009 and it wasn't too bad as the others. It starts with an action sequence of Dom and his crew with Letty, Tiago Leo, Rico Santos and with big surprise Han Shaw robbing oil trucks. For the record, this is a film before the events of Tokyo Drift and we still have some questions. Dom is one of the most wanted in FBI. He is on the run. So he decides to go away from Letty and his crew. Meanwhile, Brian O'Connor is the FBI officer now. He was a cop, but now he is in FBI officially. Somehow Letty has died in a car accident. It has suspected to be a murder. The reason is still a question to both. Brian and FBI wait for Dom to appear in Letty's funeral, but Dom doesn't come to the place but keeps watching from the distance. Dom is on the mission to find who killed Letty. Meanwhile, Brian was given a mission to go undercover and find a local mob boss called Raga. Finally, Brian and Dom is searching for the same guy. They needed to be part of the network to find out who Braga is. So they join the team and do their job in Mexican border. They met a woman named Giselle. She warned Dom about Phoenix, the one who leads the men through the border. When they point the gun at the other side of the border, Dom explodes the car and get away. He was injured. Cars they escaped had smuggled drug in it. So they go in a mission on their own and tries to take down Braga by themselves. But the man they thought as the local leader was a Braga, and Braga follows them too. When Braga escaped, they go back to their home. There Mia was still living, but she was upset with Brian. After dealing with her issues, they come to Tuscaloosa, Mexico to get Braga, and they get him. The FBI came to get them, but Dom doesn't run this time. He surrenders.
You gotta get out of here. I ain't running anymore. I gotta ask you something.
You hit your head hard.
But judge decides to sentence him for 25 years in high security prison.
All rise.
I've listened to the testimony and taken into special consideration Agent O'Connor's appeal of clemency on behalf of Mr. Toretto. Dominic Toretto, you are hereby sentenced to serve 25 years to life at the Lombok Maximum Security Prison System without the possibility of early parole. This court is adjourned.
So that's the first 4 movies of this franchise, which is the failure part of this franchise. Subscribe us for the first 2 of this video series, which is the successful chapter of the whole Fast and Furious franchise. Click the video on the right to know more about the famous musician A.R. Rahman, and the video on the left to know more about the details of the Titanic, both with English subtitles.